And how are the group?
Really brilliant.
Good.
Yeah, it was a really cohesive experience for them.
Good.
Really good experience. They're in such a different place. They're in a very genuine, because they've had to think outside the box. And they, you know, although they were a bit sporadic, they weren't that sporadic in their attendance and commitment to the project. You know, they had been, you know, when I'd taken them over, there was a lot of kind of moving around. It took me quite a while to get them to, and I was unsure as to whether if we started this project and they didn't like it, they would just vote with their feet, but they really didn't. They kept coming back. So I think that was really pleasing. I think most of them got a real lot out of that, and they've really matured as a group of performers. Like, their performance practice now is really mature. You know, they've kind of come on a huge amount having done that project. Good. I mean, that's what seems to be carrying on, their physical engagement and their ability to be quite confident about doing weird things and moving. You know, they're not shy to commit and take risks, which they were before, for sure. Also, what it felt like for me was the performance was a kind of really good showcase and sort of layering of everything they'd learnt somehow and processed. Did feel like the performance was this kind of really epic, you know, moment that kind of distilled, because we had the little bits of footage, didn't we, on the film, and the way that they all moved around the space and the way they were able to talk directly to the audience and then back in. You know, I think it was really good in the end, that performance. For me, I've learned a lot about the theory. You know, I just wouldn't have engaged with it at all if I hadn't been working with you in that way. I mean, that's what I've really learned, is to be able to deconstruct what I'm doing and think about it in relation to theory, which I just don't do enough of. You know, I just think, oh, you know, that I'm doing that exercise or this, and I'm doing it too instinctively, really.
Can you think of any moments over the last 3 months outside the sessions and your time at Half Moon which reminded you in some way about the project?
Walking along the promenade in Aberystwyth, and you know, with my 15-year-old daughter, and then last time I'd walked along there I'd been 15, and just that pathway again, so I'm just being very aware that I was sort of performing that walk. And since then going back to the Half Moon, and now the course of the foyer's changed.
Yes.
You know, so you sort of can imagine it like if this was your office and then this was all now suddenly a new foyer, because I used to sit at an office in the foyer.
Yeah.
So I was sort of going and standing by the windows and saying, oh, this is where my desk used to be, and this is where my, you know, sort of showing it to the others, and saying, oh, this is my desk, and I was sort of performing where I used to sit.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of aware of the
resonance
of that. Little things like that are really more vivid than perhaps they would have been.
Coming from a kind of music, technology, art background, the kind of pedagogy of how you work, you know, the kind of activities that you do as part of the kind of research within that room. So, you know, the kind of drama activities, I found those really, really, they bring out so much that conversation can't, almost. I found that really, really useful, that I could take away from my own practice. My favourite bit of the whole thing was the cornflake part, and I don't know who instigated that as a kind of performance, but I really fed from that. Taking the everyday and I guess dissecting it and into different puzzle pieces, putting it together in the wrong way, and just to see why those pieces fit together the way they do. And obviously you put them together and they don't really fit that well, but you're kind of creating some very strange puzzle, and then it's only then that you really understand how those puzzle pieces really fit together properly, I guess.
Did anything surprise you about the responses of the young people in the project?
I could see they were becoming comfortable with the more abstract ideas. They've been normalised for them. Therefore, they're changing their place, their space within, you know, the actual ideas. Whatever they do now, once they've had that experience, they'll never forget it, and it's always there.